Hello and welcome to the Bee Formless Flow Driven CEO podcast. I have the wonderful Donna Figueroa here with, I think I haven't got your surname right, I just think I got it wrong there, Donna. All the way from Washington, Northern Virginia, Washington, DC. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. And I forgot to ask you, you said it's the PM on Sunday, so you're still in your weekend somewhat, and it's fresh Monday morning here for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Donna, sorry, what did you say?
I still have a good night's sleep ahead of me, hopefully.
Yeah, that will be good. Yes. It's always nice to get a good sleep on a Sunday night in preparation for the week ahead, right?
Absolutely.
But Donna, I wanted to celebrate all your successes today, and wow, you're a functional medicine practitioner, which I absolutely love. I love the functional medicine space. You're a nurse practitioner. You're the founder of Midwife Functional Health. And it's a holistic health practice dedicated to guiding women through powerful midlife transitions with clarity, vitality, and root cause healing. You have a background in integrative and functional medicine. And I've put this together that you work at the intersection of biology, emotional history, environment, and identity, and I relate to that from a midlife perspective. Offering those personalized care that goes far beyond the symptom management. So often we've got to go to a doctor and we'll just get the symptom right versus what actually is going on underneath. And I love that your philosophy is grounded in that deep listening to what's unspoken, what's actually going on versus what's actually happening on the surface, and whether in the body, in the mind, in life, or in leadership, to use those insights to create that meaningful and sustainable change. I guess from midlife to having the best life, it's not over at midlife, is it? I'm sure you have so many conversations with women, but you also treat men and children as well, from what I understand. But women is your main.
I do. I mainly market to women, but once I start seeing women and they're having good results, they bring me their husbands, their sons, their brothers, their fathers, and everybody else they know. So I will work with anybody who wants to work with me.
Yeah, cool. So tell us about your journey. How did you get into functional medicine, being a functional medicine practitioner? Were you a nurse practitioner first? Was this from your own experience in, from a midlife perspective that you're when did you get into this? And tell us your story.
I was a nurse practitioner first, and I was actually a certified nurse midwife, which means I was board certified to catch babies. And when I was studying to be a midwife, which was really what I wanted to do, that was all I wanted to do 15 or 20 years ago. And I caught my 40 babies in school to get my board certification, and then promptly realized I never wanted to work in a hospital again as long as I lived, because I did not like the environment. And I found that most of what we based our decisions on in hospitals and the policies that were set and the protocols we were forced to follow were based on mostly economics and liability and had nothing to do with the health of the mother or the baby and what was evidence-based best for them. And so I wound up spending my nursing career, before I opened my practice, the 10 years leading up to that, 10 to 15, in community-based healthcare, in clinic only, working with women, all but the deliveries, mostly prenatal, postpartum, women's problems. I did a lot of reproductive health. I worked with men as well in reproductive health, sexual health, gender transformation, all kinds of areas of sexual and reproductive health for both men and women. And I loved what I did, but I felt I could feel the broken system around me. And slowly it started snuffing out the fire inside me. I knew I wanted to help people and help them heal. And I felt that just like I did in the hospital, that because we were guided and forced into protocols by insurance companies and big healthcare systems and pharmaceutical companies, there was so much just pressure to really treat a symptom with a a prescription for a medication, to refer someone out for surgery, refer them out to another specialist, whether it's an endocrinologist or a cardiologist. It wasn't considered practical to keep them in my care and try to help them through whatever they were going through. So I felt like I wasn't helping anyone heal. I was just shuffling people around, treating symptoms with medicine, and kind of getting them in and out the door as quick as possible, because you couldn't, if you spent more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes in a room with a patient, you didn't get paid for that time. The insurance companies wouldn't pay us to educate a patient or counsel them in any way. So during those years, I became very disenamored. When I hit post-perimenopause myself, right about your age, I realized that I wasn't getting the help I needed. I was 40 pounds heavier. My joints were aching. I wasn't able to sleep at night. I was dependent on pain medications to sleep at night. I was told that I needed double hip replacement surgery. My eyesight was failing. My hair, skin, and nails were a hot mess. And my practitioners, I wasn't fortunate like you, and I didn't find my way into functional medicine early on. I was in traditional care, and I was basically told, this is normal. This is the way, just you'll get through it like everybody else does. Kind of suck it up. This is perimenopause. Your general labs look good. Everything's fine. Yes, your hormones are failing, but they're supposed to, so get used to it. And I just couldn't take that as the only way through. So I did my own research and I started to find my way through. I found a functional medicine practitioner, thank goodness, who was a nurse practitioner who became not only a caregiver to me, but also a mentor. And she helped me through without surgery, without drugs, no medications. And it was just all natural healing. It was listening to my body, finding out what was plaguing me. We worked through food sensitivities. We worked through a heavy metal toxicity. We worked through what was the severe inflammation in my joints due to inflammatory foods I was eating and my lifestyle. And she got me back on the road to healing. And it took a bit, but I'm happy to say that by the end, I dropped 40 pounds. I was no longer on any kinds of pain medications. My sleep improved, my hair, skin, and nails improved, both hips healed. I did inject stem cells in my hips, but other than that, my body did the work itself to heal. No surgery. And I went surfing to celebrate my 60th birthday. So wow. It was quite the journey. And as a healthcare practitioner, the first thing I said to myself is, man, I got to help other women do this. I don't want to see anyone else suffer. It can be done. And it's so hard to find the road to this kind of healing, the way our healthcare system is set up. So I set out to find a way to do it because I think I always had the whole root cause thing in my blood. I always was curious. I'm just curious all the time. And I want to know what causes it, Because if you can fix a cause, you can fix a problem. And so I found my way into functional medicine. I went back and got certified as a functional medicine practitioner. And thank goodness I got laid off from my last job I was at, because that gave me the boot in the pants to open my own practice. I was kind of piddling around until I got laid off, and I was doing this on the side, and I was helping out friends and family, and I was creating small groups and, all pro bono, just for fun, because I wanted to help people. But once I got laid off, I decided I'm not going back into that system again. I'm going to found my own practice, and I'm going to create something that I can really help people and help them get to their root cause and fix it for lasting and sustainable results. That's my goal. I want people to heal. I don't want to just.
Amazing. So how long have you had the practice for now?
So the doors of this practice have been open since June of last year. So just about 13 months.
Oh, wow. So only early days. Like how?
Yes. But again, I've been like paddling around with this stuff for a while. So
yeah. No, which is exciting.
But the practice is just a baby. I'm about to celebrate a year. It's a little over a year, but I'm gonna have an anniversary celebration in the fall.
Oh, congratulations! That's so exciting. I love that you were wouldn't take no for an answer. Like you were deeply curious and exploring. Well, if I'm going through this change, what is it and how do I get to the bottom of it without, like you say, medicating, being just told, just suck it up and just deal with it. There's so much to unpack in that aspect in terms of as women, you hit this point in time and it's almost like, well, that's just your life's almost over sort of thing, and this is just part of now the next stage of your life, that
Yeah.
you were like, no, it's not. And I love that, because there's just this stigma around that, isn't there, in terms of, well, you hit this point and this is just what happens and it's just part of life, and yet we're meant to just kind of go, okay, and kind of go, what is this? This is crazy, be confused sometimes, I think, in terms of, is this normal or is this not normal? Is this something happening to me, but I'm just being told it's just part of the process, when actually it's not. In terms of the sort of clients and women you that come to you, I'm assuming that some of them are, in serious roles in terms of from a leadership perspective, or, obviously in full-time roles and things like that. Do you ever find people coming to you kind of going, I can't sustain what I'm doing in my life right now, whether it be being a mum, being, a full-time role, or in a big leadership role, and almost thinking that they'll have to do something different because they don't feel like they're going to be able to keep up, so to speak. I guess where I'm going with this is because it is such a change. There is fatigue. There is, like you say, there's all these different, everyone's different. Do the women start to, that you see, do you often see that a lot of these women start to doubt themselves when they get to this point, and it's almost like there's this, this comes to this identity crisis, if you like. Well, crisis is the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, absolutely. Oftentimes a lot of the women that come to me, I'm their last resort.
yeah,
They're
right.
like, please help me. I'm not getting any answers or any healing from the providers. I've been to my primary care. I've been to my gynecologist. I've been to an endocrinologist, wherever, cardiologist. I mean, they're just seeking answers, and no one is helping them. And yes, they're coming to me and they are like at their wit's end, and they just want help. And it's really simple what we do, honest. It is the simplest thing. It's just about listening to the women, listening to what they're telling you, where it's coming from, and running some labs, doing a few assessments, and fixing something. It's pretty simple. Now, yes, sometimes there are bigger health issues to work on. Some women come in with some serious health problems. Some of them have autoimmune diseases, or they've been diagnosed with diabetes or high blood pressure. Sometimes they're on a lot of medications. Everybody's different, but they all have in common that they feel unheard, they feel unhelped. And, women that go through peri and postmenopause, as you know, they're already, forget even being in menopause or perimenopause. It's a stressful time of life when you're in middle age, because you often have children under you. They might be older, some might be younger, and even we know that older children, even though they might be in their late teens or 20s or 30s, they're still our children, and they still require attention, and they still take our emotional energy, and we still are, can be stressed and anxious over anything going on in their lives. And then we have aging parents above us, or other relatives, whether they're parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, we have a life partner. Most of us, not everybody, some do, some don't, or people that we care about in our lives. It's a time of life where once we hit our 40s, 50s, 60s, people around us, they start becoming sick too. Almost everybody knows someone with cancer, with an autoimmune disease, with something that they're managing, and it's very stressful. And a lot of these women are working. They're, superwoman moms. They're working. They're taking care of a home. They're taking care of a spouse. They just got all this stuff going on. And yes, it's very holistic the way I approach the healing, because everything from around that woman contributes to their health. So you have to pick it apart. You have to get their mind involved. You have to get their emotions involved. You have to, everything they do lifestyle wise, their environment, their diet, how much water they drink, how much,
Yeah.
and how good quality is the sleep they're getting. All these things play a role. It's not just about, a number on a blood pressure cuff or how their heart's beating. It's way beyond that. When I do a medical visit with someone for the first time, sometimes I don't even have to lay hands on them. It's just listening. because they'll
Yeah.
tell me their whole story. And I go all the way back to before birth. When a patient comes into me for their first visit, it's usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we go back beyond their birth. I want to know all about their parents and under what conditions their pregnancy took place, their own pregnancy from when they were born and what they know about it. And if they were breastfed and how stressful was their childhood. You'd be surprised how many people remember stress from 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years old. And that plays a role. And so it's just about listening to the whole story.
Yeah. And then, so then what about you in terms of your then healing modalities? So what sort of healing modalities do you do with your clients then, in terms of if they're going through such a big transition? I guess it depends on what's actually happening to them.
Yeah, it depends what's happening and where they're at. I refer out for things like mental health counseling if I think they need that.
Yeah.
I have practitioners on speed dial that are, functional in nature, but they practice other modalities like acupuncture, chiropractic, and pelvic floor therapy, and even a cardiologist. I have them handpicked in my community. I know the ones that are harmonious with how I practice and that are going to take a holistic approach to the patient. And then we work on everything we can: lifestyle, environment. Sometimes we supplement with herbals and nutraceuticals. I'm not afraid to prescribe hormones when needed. We always evaluate the hormones. So it's very holistic care. It's all encompassing.
Yeah, because I love it, because it's so much for me. There's that integration of life and I say life leadership and work, or life leadership and business. Like if something's happening in life, it's going to impact you in leadership. If something's happening at work, it's going to impact you at life.
Yep.
It's all of that. So how do you look at it holistically so that you are ensuring that you're being your best self from the inside out? Because if the inside is not functioning to its optimal, if that makes sense, and I'm talking mind, body, and soul here, then outwardly we're not going to be our best selves either. So that's kind of like, for me, that whole inside out piece. In terms of, the two have to come together, because for a very long time I separated my leadership, my corporate role and life very separately. And it was a detriment to both, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I think one big piece is transparency. I'm so transparent with my patients, and I talk about my own ongoing journey that hasn't ended. I mean, these journeys don't stop. It's not like, oh, I got to where I am and I'm successful and I'm done now. That doesn't happen. And the same with building a business, right? You're never done. Right? You're constantly, it's like a garden. You have to keep tending to it, right? You have to keep planting the seeds. You have to keep watering it. So when you say leadership, no matter what role I'm in, whether leader, healthcare practitioner, mom, wife, whatever it is, right? You have to keep working at it. A marriage that you don't work on will not survive, right? So
no.
It's the same no matter what you're working on. And it's one of the reasons, like, the way I work is so comprehensive. It's not just healthcare. Inside my packages, I work in comprehensive packages that people have to sign on and commit for months, because if they don't, it's not going to work. These conditions don't come on overnight. They're not going to go away overnight. When someone comes to me and they're in deep need of healing, they make a commitment to be part of my community, and we have coaching calls every week, and we have a whole texting thread. It's kind of like a mini Facebook group inside my patient portal. So it's safe and it's secure and it's only us. And we have our own conversations in there, and people post products and talk about, and no one's forced to share anything, of course. And it's no one's posting anything medical or personal, but everyone's on this journey, and we all help each other, and we celebrate wins, and we help each other, support each other during challenges. And we have, it's not just healthcare. I'm available to my patients 24/7. I mean, I don't know how many healthcare providers that say that, but they literally can text me through my portal 24/7. And wow. I am pretty good about responding. Granted, I don't answer when I'm asleep. I don't leave the phone on while I'm sleeping or anything, but they know that I'll get to it as soon as I'm back online, and they can send the text at any time. They can,
That's amazing.
they
Yeah,
can
as
get
long as you're
response from me. So
filling your own cup up as well. Like you absolutely need to fill your own cup up as well. Like I know
this is what fills
having
my cup. I love it. It totally fills my cup. And if it's intrusive, I turn it off. I mean, there's times when I go to a family dinner, I have it completely off right now. Go to a family dinner, I'm on vacation, I'm going to go away for girls weekend next weekend, I'm going to be mostly unplugged, absolutely. But there's always a forum for them to even contact each other.
yeah,
It's like part of a community.
community. Yeah,
Hmm.
the community
It is a
piece. The
community.
community
Yeah.
piece. When you booked in to do the pod, you said the profound power of digging deep to get to the root cause. In functional medicine, we tirelessly seek out the root cause of symptoms. This approach, when applied beyond health to life and leadership, reveals a powerful truth. Every dysfunction is an opportunity to uncover and address a deeper truth. We've talked a lot about that, but can you tell me a little bit around the dysfunction? Every dysfunction, is an opportunity to uncover and address a deeper truth. When you talk about deeper truths, can you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Yeah, I'm going to tell a little story, and it's not my story to tell. I've heard it when I was in grad school. I heard it the first time, and it really resonated with me. So I may not tell it perfectly. You may have heard it before, but it's about the two men that are walking through the woods, and they hear a baby crying, and they follow the cries of the baby, and they come to a river, and the river is flowing by them, and there's a baby flowing down the river, and they reach in to try to save the baby, and they save this baby from the river. And as soon as they grab the baby from the river, another baby comes down in front of them, and these babies just keep coming in the river, and they start coming faster and faster, and they're doing all they can to pull this baby out of the river. They just want to pull the babies out and save the babies, pull the babies, pull the babies. And one says to the other, I think we need to go upstream and figure out why these babies are in the river. And the other one says, well, if we do that, then all these babies are going to die. And the guy says, yeah, but if we don't do that, we're going to just keep pulling babies out. We're never going to get anywhere. If we can stop it, we might have to sacrifice a couple babies, but if we can stop whatever's causing them to flow into the river, then we can actually fix the problem, and there won't be any more babies thrown in the river. And we don't have to stand here the rest of our life pulling babies out of the river. So that always resonated in me, and it made me think, this is where the term like go upstream comes from. When you say go upstream, like if something is wrong, instead of just fixing it, the symptom or the problem, to actually go upstream, figure out what's causing it and fix it, you have much more sustainable results. It's like if you have a hole in your boat because there's a shark or a fish under the boat that's eating at it, to just put tape over it because you see the hole is not going to help, right?
I love it. I love that story. I've never heard that before, but it's so true. Going upstream to
I probably did a terrible job telling it, but I think you got the
No, you didn't do a terrible job telling it at all. But I totally buy it in terms of that going upstream and, needing to kind of really, really delve deeper. This is a question for you. Is life better post midlife? Do you you've started your own business, you hear all these things now where 40 is the new 30, etc., etc. But I guess for me, and it might be a bit of a tricky question to ask, but I guess what I'm trying to ask is that it's not necessarily is life better, but is life, just because you hit midlife does not mean it's over, right? But there's so much more you can actually achieve and do in this stage of your life. I'm starting to feel like that's the new midlife, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're reshaping the old version of midlife into a new version, and it's a new world order version. This is my whole thing around going from a fixed form to being formless, reimagining and recreating. And I feel like, I don't know, from what you're talking about here and my own exploration, it's like you're coming into your own almost.
Yes, it is an amazing time. I think it gives women a lot of power, and everybody's different. Everybody's different, but I'm here to tell you that the potential for midlife and beyond to become the absolute best part of life is totally there. It's been amazing for me. It gives you, I feel like women hit a point, like I mentioned, taking care of so many other people and things during their lives, and they hit a point in midlife, if they can, if their children are taken care of and they're starting to retire or slow down a little bit from the workforce, and they might have a little money, enough money to have some help around the house, or to have, be able to do the things they want to do, and on top of that, to take care of their health and to be healthy and to be able to travel and to do the things that they maybe dreamed about their whole life, have a little bucket list, so to speak, and really realize that this is the time of life to do it, when you don't have so many commitments. The only way to do it, though, is if you're healthy. That's what I try to communicate to people. You've got to be healthy in midlife to have a good, healthy outcome and to be able to live a long, healthy life. I don't want to be 75 and sitting in my house watching soap operas because I can't walk. And that's what would have happened to me if I stayed where I was back when I was in my late 40s, early 50s. And it was early 50s. I used to sit on a bench in a mall, and I watched my husband and son walk around the mall, and I would sit and wait for them to come back. And I was like in tears, crying, because I thought, this is my life from here on. I don't see it getting any better. I thought, this is just downhill from here. Like, I've hit my peak. And I watched both my parents die young, and I watched both my aunts die young, and I watched one of my grandmothers die young. So I've seen a lot of people above me die young. I'm actually the oldest living member of my family on one side. So,
wow.
And I have been for 10 years. So that hit me like a brick, and I didn't want to see myself go down that road. I didn't want to die in my early 60s, or my late 50s. I just thought, I don't want to do this. And it sparked in me this fierce fighter reaction. Like, I'm not going to let this happen to me. By hook or by crook, I'm going to find my way through this, and I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to be healthier. And I just knew I could do it. And I felt, this is the time. If I can turn this around and be healthy, I can have an amazing, like, 20 years ahead. My son's grown. He's out of college and he's on his own. He lives in another state. He's 100% independent and successful. And it's just my husband and I. I don't have any older people to take care of. Unfortunately, I would be pleased to have my parents around to take care of, but unfortunately they're long gone. So it's just me and my husband. And it's like, we want to be healthy. Like I said, I don't want to be 75 sitting at home on the couch eating donuts, watching soap operas. I want to be in Europe, walking on the cobblestone streets and exploring the pyramids in Egypt. And I want to be traveling around the world to all these places I haven't gotten to yet. And enjoying myself. And you can, like, I feel like if I did this, anybody can do this.
Yeah. I agree. And it's the same for leaders. Like, in leadership, I'll bring it back to leadership in terms of a lot of women, hit midlife age, and they're like, oh, I can't take on too much. I need to probably, what's the word I'm looking for? I need to basically not go for the role.
Scale it back.
I need to pull back a bit, and maybe just, like, who says? Like, it's like, you've just started your own business. I only started my business 2 years ago, so I was 40. I think I'm 44, 45, I think, when I started mine. And that's midlife. Like, so, like, and some of the most successful people in business and in leadership are in that midlife period, because they've had all the experiences of when they were younger. But I think it also comes back to the person and wanting to get to the root causes of what's actually going on here. And I think we've got to really have the ability to, I talk a lot about the pause, and, the world we're living in is just so fast, pace, always on. But if we don't pause, if we don't actually stop and listen to what's actually happening, be curious, explore it, we've almost missed a trick. Like, we've absolutely missed a trick.
And
took me a long time to realize pausing isn't meaning it's pausing is slowing down to speed up again in a way so that you can then get back into everything you want to get it back into or, but do it in a way that's more sustainable, if you like.
Yes. And, it sounds cliche, but when you do something you love and adore, it just doesn't feel like work.
No.
And leadership is the same way. I mean, some people have told me, I'm a natural leader. People listen to me. And I think it's, being a leader is something that doesn't necessarily take extra time from what you're doing. It's a state of being. It's not really an extra job. Does that make sense?
No, I love it. Yeah, it's a state of being that isn't an extra job. It's a state of being.
Yeah.
But there's a doing part of it as well. Is that performance part of it as well. But yeah, no, I totally get it.
You can lead no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. So Donna, just on that, what would be your one piece of advice to any woman in a midlife that is almost at that crossroads?
I would say take your health seriously and get yourself to a healthcare practitioner who understands menopause and who understands holistic health, because there's nothing more important than our health. Without our health, we have nothing. And if you want to get through this stage, which is not easy, not only unscathed, but if you want to come through, shining and actually feeling and looking years younger than you did when you started this phase, that you can do it. And it's just a matter of finding the right people to surround yourself with that are going to prop you up and support you and help you through it. But it's a commitment, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it.
Yeah, I love it. How do we find out more about you and your business?
So my website is midlifemidwifefh.com. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all over. I think we're starting a TikTok channel now. That's going to be the new one. But I'm out there. I'm live every Monday at 5:45 my time on Facebook. I do silly little minutes where I just talk. It's called the Midlife Minute. And I do something silly or just talk about. Sometimes I promote an event coming up. I also do free events in my area. If anyone's in the Washington, D.C. area, free events in my office once a month. And those are just completely open events. We usually pick a topic and cover it, and usually very engaging, lots of questions. And I'm always in my community. People can email me, text me. That I'm not hard to find.
I love it. I love that you're doing all of this. So you're giving back so much. It's such a generous thing to do. So Donna, thank you so much for your time today. Encouraging anyone hitting midlife to reach out to Donna. It is important to, we're in the best time of our lives.
The best. It's amazing. You gotta embrace it. Yes,
I'm 48 on Friday, and I'm like, oh,
happy birthday!
Yeah, that's 8. So I'm a big 8 person. So I love an even number. So yeah, I feel young. I feel young most days if I've had a good night's sleep.
You are young, yes.
Yeah, but
no, you can stay young. We are forced to age, but we don't have to grow old.
No, I like that. We're forced to age, we do not have to grow old. That's a good quote, actually. That's a good thought for the week. We're forced to age, but we don't have to grow old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Yep, who says? Donna, thank you so much. It's been a joy talking to you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Bea. It was a pleasure meeting you. Stay in touch. I'll talk you through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.